Come on, just die, my Lotic. Hello everybody. Since the last Emerald video was with a pseudo dog, we gotta do one with a pseudo cat to restore balance. I think that the general opinion on Skitty is pretty bad. People don't seem to like it very much. So today we'll see how it handles the Juan region. Its stats are okay, I guess, and the move pool is surprisingly deep. I think I will be using physical stab normal moves for the majority of the game, but will switch to a special moveset for the league. I'm mostly worried about Roxanne, since she's hard to defeat with normal attacks, but we have some good support moves like Sing to help us out. I reset until I get a decent nature. Quiet raises special attack, but lowers speed. We should be able to outspeed most mons anyway. After a couple of level ups, I can face our rival May for the first time, and since we have stab on tackle, we can quickly finish her off. To be ready for Roxanne, I grinded to level 20, but I still had to reset a few times against her. On my 5th attempt, I got a bit lucky because Sing decided to finally land most of the time. I had to lower their defense with Tail Whip, otherwise tackle deals no damage. I could have learned Double Slap, but I think the average DPS is about the same. As you can see, Rock Tomb deals a lot of damage. Our Oran Berry can help us recover a little bit of HP, but not that much in the grand scheme of things. The good number of potions that Roxanne uses does not make the fight easier, but at least she is using them on Geodude and not on the stronger Nosepass. I ended up using 3 or 4 tail whips on each Geodude, followed by a sea of tackles to take them out. Sing doesn't miss even a single time. Strangely enough, in the previous attempts, I did not even make it to Nosepass, so when she comes out, I'm a little bit worried since I don't really know what it is gonna do. I am slower than her because of the rock tombs from earlier, and since we are the same sex, I can't use a threat, so I have to rely on Sing once again. I also have to use a bunch of tail whips because of her very high defense and her propensity to counter me with Harden, but at least it is not killing me. It also uses block for some reason, and that is a free turn since I can't switch anyway. She gets at -5 defense. I can start attacking her with tackles. In a bit of an AI brain fart, Nosepass also uses tackle, not once, but 3 times in a row, long enough for me to put her back to sleep and win the match. After we collect the badge, we do the usual Pico side quest and then face optional May. I lost once to her because of a crit burn ember, but the second attempt goes smoothly and I can defeat her. After she goes down, I skipped the second gym since it's a fighting type and I don't think we can win easily, so we can jump to the May 2 fight. I was worried because of the Pochiena run, but I ultimately lost only once to double kicks from the Combusken. The second time around I managed to sleep it with Sing and take it out with a couple of tackles. The Lombre is easy and dies without doing much. For Wattson I grinded to level 39 so that Skitty can learn Double Edge, a base 120 power normal move with recoil, so dealing damage should not be a problem for a little while. Gave Skitty a cherry berry since it makes contact in case I get static. Not sure if Magneton is a 2 or 3 shot, so I decided to sleep it, and it was very close. With min-max rolls it might be a 2 shot. prefer to use Tail Whip and finish him next turn. Wattson doesn't even use any potions on it. Manectric thankfully is a one-shot, and with that Skitty is the first Pokemon to not lose to Wattson. We can then proceed with the rest of the story and meet the two evil teams in Meteorfall Caves, informing us of Max's plan to activate the volcano, so we make our way to him to stop him. Unfortunately, I lost once because of Sand Attack from my Tiena, since Double Edge is not a one-shot after Intimidate. On the second attempt, I learned from my mistakes and sleep it the first turn, then proceeded to take it out with 2 secret powers. The Zubat is a frail, so it goes down in one hit. The Camera, on the other hand, is kinda tanky, but it can't take me out in one turn. So with the potion he survives a couple more turns, but after a while he too goes down. After we stop Maxi, we got to face Flannery, and I'm worried about the Turtle. I'm sure I can't one-shot it, but I'm not sure how much damage Overhit will do to me. So I decided to use Secret Power for Numel and Slugma to save some HP. Camelot would leave it, so I double-edge it. And against her ace, I used Sing to buy me a couple of turns. Surprisingly, Double Edge it's a 2-shot, so I can grab the badge at the end of the next turn. Once she goes down, we have to backtrack to face Norman, and on the road we can stop at Brawly's gym. Since we are very overleveled for his team, I can just one-shot every one of his Pokémons with Secret Power. A much easier fight than what it would have been if I did it in the correct order. The next gym fight is against our dad, and he is scary as always because of the slacking. Thank God that Mon has Truant, otherwise it would be broken. One factor that I underestimated is the amount of HP that I burn because of Double Edge. Against the slacking I Sing, so he does not destroy me, and then use Secret Power and Double Edge. The idea was to skip the potions, and it kinda worked, so I can finish him off next turn. I also level up, and this was 100% calculated, definitely not a coincidence that saved me, since I finished the fight on 2 HP. Not even close, right? Anyway, after we get his badge, we are given the HM for Surf, and can pick up the TMs for Ice Beam on the abandoned ship and Thunderbolt in the mobile generator area. The next important fight is against May after the Weather Institute. At this point, her team is always easy. She only has 3 Pokémon and 2 of them are not even fully evolved, so they all go down to one single Double Edge, after stalling a little. Up next is Winona Ryder, and she turned out to be a pain. The problem, of course, is the Skarmory. I had to reset twice because it dodged all of my sins and kept using Sand Attack against me. With hindsight, it might have been a good idea to start using special moves at this point. With Thunderbolt and Ice Beam she would have been a much easier fight. Also, the Team Aqua and Magma Leader will start using my Tiena. I would not have Calm Mind yet to boost, but it would still probably be worth it. Another problem with Skarmory is that Steel Wing can raise its defense, making it even more tanky, and Winona can spam potions on it. This time around she does not use them. Guess it was just out of range, and then the Altaria goes down in one hit. Next, we can travel to the Noct Pokemon Tower and proceed with the story by receiving the Magma Emblem from the old lady to be able to reach the Groudon. Once we get there, we see Maxi reviving it with the blue orb, and then he decides to fight us. Once again, the Mightyena is annoying because I can't take it out in one hit, so it confuses me. I immediately hit myself in confusion, but on the second turn, Skitty snaps out of it, and with a net +1 in attack, we can one-shot everything on Max's team. Once he goes down, I decided to take on Mole May. Her team is a bit better than last time, but unfortunately it's not very strong. I can just spam Devil Edge and take out all of her Pokémons with one hit. I will never understand why they did not evolve her starter to the last stage. Anyway, after we are done with her, we gotta grind a bunch for the Tate and Liza fight. I gave Skitty Shadow Ball so it has a super effective move. Once I reach level 76, I feel like I'm strong enough, so I decided to face them. It's still a hard fight, mostly because it's a 2v1. Also, I did not expect the clay doll to leave a shadow ball. That doll is a tick and throws a wrench in my plan, because now I have to waste more turns taking it down, while the Xatu hits me and by the time clay doll dies, I have less than 50% HP remaining. Next, I hit and take out the Lunaton because I don't want it using Hypnosis on me. Since the Xatu uses Calm Mind, I have to take it out next with one Shadow Ball since it is physical this gen. On the next turn, the Solrock leaves a hit, but thankfully he wastes a turn charging Solar Beam since Sun just ended, so I can finish him next turn and get the badge, but more importantly the TM for Calm Mind. Now I can fully switch my moveset to a special one, and can test it out on the double fight with Steven. The Intimidate from Mightyena doesn't matter anymore, but they can still prove annoying while I set up because they can use Swagger or Send Attack, and that is exactly what happens to Metang. Also the Camerupt sets up Amnesia, which is not the best for us. On the next turn I decided to go on the offensive since I don't want to get confused myself, and at +1 I'm pretty sure I can one-shot everything on their team except for the boosted Camerupt. Decided to switch to a special moveset because it's very good against the Elite Four. Ice Beam for Drake and Thunderbolt for both Glacia and the Champion. I could have kept the Shadow Ball for Pheobe, but I don't think she will be a big problem. After a few more turns, I take out the rest of their Pokémon, grab the Dive HM from Steven, and go to the cave with Kyogre to stop Archie from waking it up. I decided to use Calm Mind, but I don't think it was needed. And of course, the Mightyena confuses me with Swagger. The next turn I hit myself, and he slows me. This could be a problem. Thankfully, Skitty snaps out and can go on offensive. Crobat outspeeds me, but does little damage and is a one-shot. The Sharpedo also outspeeds me and confuses me, but I can get through it and finish the fight. Even if he lost, Archie uses the red orb anyway and awakens Kyogre. Since they both used the wrong orbs, the legendaries are a bit pissed. Maxi reaches us and explains the situation before we surface, and we see that the weather is a mess. From here we gotta do the usual stuff with Steven, the Champion and Rayquaza. As usual, 10-year-old kids have to save the world from gods. Once the cutscene ends, we can face the last gym leader Juan and his water types. As you might imagine, this fight was not too bad since we have a super effective move. I used one Calm Mind against the Ludwig, and don't get confused by water pools. From here we can one-shot him. Whiscash, surprisingly, leaves a hit and of course sets up Amnesia. I decided to set up more while he heals, and put it to sleep so he does not boost anymore. From here we can spam Ice Beam over and over again. Strangely enough, Juan does not use potions on it, so we can finish him with a third Ice Beam. The rest of the team is a one-shot with Thunderbolt, since they are weak to electric. Not sure why I switched to Ice Beam from Kindra, since they are both neutral, but it goes down in one hit all the same. With all of the badges under our belt, we can make our way to the Victory Road, where we meet the second rival of the game, Wally. I decided to put the Altaria to sleep so I could set up. I was not expecting him to switch out the Altaria for the Catty. I took it out because I did not want to be put to sleep. The Altaria comes back and I notice that it is not asleep anymore, so I guess it has the natural cure ability. From here I can take out most of his team. The Magneton is a two-shot. I was expecting a Thunderbolt, but it only screeches me, so I can finish him. Next turn his Ace Gardevoir is very specially tanky, so I don't take it out in one hit, but it just wastes time with Future Sight. And now it's time for the league. Sidney is arguably the most annoying member because of the RNG. I set up once against him and he can send attack me twice because of a miss, so the fight did not start well. I miss once against Shiftry and he torments me, so from here the tactics are gonna be wacky. I guess Skitty was tired of sand attack in her eyes, because it did not miss another attack for the rest of the fight. Not even things that at this point should be like 30% accurate. I had to use Sing a few times to play around the torment, since I can't use the same move twice in a row. I can still one-shot the rest of his team and can move on to the second Elite Four, Phoebe and her ghost types. Her lead Dusclops like to use Protect, so I take the opportunity and set up. On the second turn I attack him, but he protects again. So from here I can start one-shotting all of her team. Sablaye always fascinated me, but I never used it, so I think my next run will be with him. The last Dusclops leaves a hit, but barely scratches me, and I can end the match next turn. Up next is Glacia, and she should be easy. The plan is to set up once against the lead and then sweep her team. While I use Calm Mind, Celio sets up Hail, which is okay. I don't boost again because I don't want to be paralyzed by Body Slam. That would ruin the run. The chip from Hail is Negligible. The first Glalie is a one-shot and Celio is 2 since it's weak to it. But for some reason the second Glalie leaves a hit on red HP and hits me with a crit Ice Beam. At least it did not freeze me, I guess. I take the risk and boost while Glacia heals up, so next turn I can one-shot it. And the Wall Rain, even if it's very tanky, does not stand a chance since I'm at +2. So it's time for the last Elite Four. I was feeling quite confident for Drake since I have Ice Beam. For some reason I thought Shelgon would attack on turn 1, but he protected, so he's gonna protect on turn 2, right? No, he decides to attack me, so now I'm slow. I finish him and Altaria comes out. Does some damage, but I can take it out. After that, it's where the problems start. I can't one-shot the Kindra with one Ice Beam, and because of it, he uses Body Slam and of course paralyzes me. Once it is dead, Flygon does some more damage with Earthquake, and now I have low HP going in against Salamence. Thankfully his Dragon Claws does relatively little damage and I can win the fight with one last Ice Beam. Close fight, but Skitty pulled through. So now it's time to duel against the champion. I decided to set up one Calm Mind But even with the special defense boost, Watersprout does massive damage. I have to use Sing because I don't think I can leave a second one. I set up some more, but he wakes up immediately. I try to sleep him again, but miss once, so he can deal damage with double edge. The second attempt goes better and he falls asleep, so I can use 2 more calm minds, but then he wakes up and double edges me again. At this point I can't stall anymore. Should be boosted enough for the rest of the fight, so I take it out and the rain just ended, so Ludicolo won't be outspeeding me anytime soon. I was unsure if Ice Beam would one-shot Whiscash, but thankfully it does, and now I know I won. Gyarados and Milotic can't leave a Thunderbolt, and with that, Skitty managed to beat the game. Somehow, someway, it got a single-digit number of resets, stealing the title of least resets from Zigzagoon's pose. I'm genuinely impressed by how good Skitty was and have a newfound respect for it. Thank you for watching, I hope you liked the video. Please remember to like, subscribe, share the video with your friends, and write a comment if you have feedback or fun video ideas. See you next time.